Yeah, he goes through a very intense transformation. The journey begins with him meeting Shelly, falling madly in love, and then they both get murdered. Spoiler alert. And it really sets him off on a course, kind of a mythological course of what he could, what he's willing to do to get her back.
I think when we meet her, Shelly is a young woman who is in desperate need of love, in need to be seen and to be heard, and I think she finds in Eric a confidant and someone that can really bring her dreams of companionship and trust to life.
Both of them have a real naturalism to them. I think there's something obviously kind of magical and wondrous about Twigs, and Bill to me is a very empathetic man, but also he's quite terrifying. So the combination of the two of them, they were just very quick to fall in love together, which was really amazing to see.
Well, fantastic. I loved everyone. And yeah, it was very important for the movie that Twigs and I would have chemistry and get along, and we did so on screen and off screen, I think. But the whole cast is fantastic, and it was a pleasure working with Danny as well, Huston.
Yeah, I mean, Bill's such an incredible person, and I think we were incredibly lucky to have a spark together straight away and just a very natural chemistry. He's somebody that has become a very dear friend of mine, and I couldn't think of anyone better to have my first big role in a film with, you know, just to guide me through the process and everything from my first scene to, you know, all of this press. It's so incredible to be next to someone that's so special and so kind.
Oh my God, it's so exciting. Well, first of all, so exciting to be in New York. Such a dream to be here, and I love the city. I haven't been for ages. So yeah, it's a dream come true. It feels like it was a long-ish time coming, so I'm really happy to see the fruits of our labor kind of coming into fruition.
Oh, Lex is an assassin, so we meet up with the Crow, we kill the Crow, and then he goes on a crazy journey. They come back and then he kills everybody in the end.
When we meet her in the film, she's already estranged from her daughter, played by FKA Twigs, and is incredibly, profoundly, deeply hurt by that, and has hoped for a reconciliation, but her daughter, something happens to her daughter. I don't want to give a spoiler, people don't know already, and therefore that opportunity is never going to come again. But then she meets the Crow, who has come back to try and reap revenge for what's happened to her daughter, and she warns him, she tries to warn him that the forces that are behind the terrible events with her daughter are far darker than he could possibly imagine, and she is as someone who's had dealings with them in the past.
The biggest part of adapting it was trying to get the essence of the book right and then blending it with Rupert's vision. Rupert had this incredible vision for what he wanted for the film, and then trying to make sure that it still did justice to James's work and it still felt like The Crow, it still felt like the book felt when the first time you read it. That was what was in the front of my mind the entire time when I was writing on it. And then adapting a graphic novel, what was cool about this project was it was one of the first projects I worked on where it was almost like visuals first. You know, we tried to basically, you know, incorporate all the narrative, dramatic elements, but we were almost starting with images first and ideas coming out of Rupert's brain and trying to make them work, and ideas from the book, the visual images, and then trying to, you know, put it all together and make it exciting and emotional.
Yeah, I think Rupert did an amazing job casting this film, and, you know, Bill brought so much sort of pathos and angst and sensitivity and capability of real violence to the role, and Twigs was so organic in building the character with her that we really wanted these two to feel like, you know, doomed lovers, and to feel like people of this generation who are artists and trying to find their way and getting sort of bowled over at every chance, and yeah, Bill and Twigs just had that energy that felt like chaotic and exciting and romantic, and they were perfect.
It's an amazing journey that has started many years ago.
My heart is singing. We've taken such a long time and been through so many things together, and to finally be at this point, like, there's something, I've had a knot in my stomach all week, and it's finally lifted up and it's come into my throat, and I now want to sing about The Crow, and I'm so excited. We've made it.
We made it. We made it. It was a real challenge, but we are so pleased that now the movie will go to an audience that will discover a new movie about them and their feeling now of nowadays. And I hope that they will fly with it.
The kind of third act opera fight scene changed as we were shooting. So we had to kind of align the choreography a little bit more with where Eric's emotional state was and is at that point in the movie. And I think it was very important for me to. The choreography wasn't that hard to learn, but it was about really anchoring it into where his emotional state was, and I think that kind of colors it. It's his sort of nihilistic climax of the movie and his emotional state in that at that point of the movie, and that was very important. So it was kind of structuring a lot of the fight scenes as if they were emotional scenes. Yeah.
Stunts is a very fun part of the process. Obviously, Bill came to the movie physically very able and powerful. He was ripped and muscular and very athletic. So really the part I had to play was to get the emotion of the scenes through the action set pieces so that it wasn't just gratuitous violence, it had an emotional purpose, and Bill really brought that to the table.
Well, I worked very closely with Kurt and Bart just to really create outfits that felt very authentic to Shelly. I've said before that Shelly feels like she comes from a real scene. She comes from a world of cool, kind of quite like desolate kids that live on the fringes of society that feel like they don't fit in. So I took Kurt and Bart to this incredible art collective called Fantastic Twirls in London. They make clothes, and so we went and we got a lot of Shelley's outfits from there and Eric's, and it just felt like we were taking a piece of my scene in London into the film of The Crow.
When you meet her, first of all, extremely stylish. I think she's a very modern girl, and she's really tries to do the right thing, but she can be naive. And she goes through a really crazy journey of trying to protect her friends and trying to deal with the whirlwind that is the magic of The Crow. So watch the rest of it and find out, I guess.
Rupert Sanders knows what he's doing, he knows what he's trying to get. He's very comfortable working with him. And then we've got the final things that we needed to get straight away. Like, he knows what he wants and he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely loved working with Rupert Sanders. Absolutely loved it. We'd do it again in a heartbeat. He's an amazing director, he's an amazing visionary, and what he's brought to this film is beyond anything anyone could possibly imagine. I think he's one of the best directors working in the industry today.
Oh, this film is an absolute visual masterpiece. I mean, that's what Rupert does best. This, on a big screen, it feels like it completely sucks you into the world because of how great he is at telling a story with the camera.
It was different because I think everyone had a real reverence for the graphic novel and for the experiences that the author of the graphic novel had gone through to create that. You know, this was always this kind of mythic piece of storytelling that was really born out of loss, out of love that had died, and this feeling of a desire for some kind of grief and vengeance. And so I think everyone sort of brought their own experiences into that, and so it was a really open and collaborative writing process, and really wanting to honor the kind of the mythos and the mythology of both the graphic novel and the original movie, but really do something that would speak to this generation. And yeah, it was a really exciting and challenging creative process.
Audiences need to see this in the theatre. From my point of view, is that Rupert is an incredible director of what I would call the iconic moment. He can create just seemingly out of, as far as I can see, out of nothing. He can create these moments that make you feel as if the universe has shifted in some sort of inexplicable way. And to really have the full impact of that, I think you need to see it in a 60-foot screen, because suddenly the world does, you're living it like it's a real thing, and you feel and see the universe shift around you, and it just knocks you sideways. That's why people should see it on the big screen, to have that impact.
the most beautiful thing, aside from seeing everyone's talent, is just being able to see how kind and appreciative and talented everyone is as well. It's amazing when you're so talented at what you do and also just an amazing person. So I feel so lucky to be part of this.
This film it's really about love, and it's about finding somebody who sees you like the real you and that can bring you back from your own hell. You know, like Shelly gets sucked down into a hell and Eric fights for her to bring her back. But I think in the human experience, we're all susceptible to falling into our own personal hell, and we all need someone that loves us, whether it's a family member, a friend, or a lover, to reach down and care about us enough to bring us back. And that's what Eric does for Shelly, and I think that everybody deserves a love that's as deep and as true and as raw as what they have.
I think this is the kind of film you should see in a theatre, not wait for it to come on TV, although it'd be great if you. But it demands a huge canvas. I think the story is expansive, the theme is expansive. I think it's incredibly exciting. I think it's quite unlike some of the films we've seen quite recently, and it demands a big cinema screen and a cinema release.
What's the first thing you liked about me?
I thought that you were quite brilliantly broken.
You feel like my person.
You feel like my person.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw things. I shouldn't have seen any of it.
Shelly! Shelly! Please don't do this!
When someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest. Until you put the wrong things right. You were given the power of a god. But you're running out of time to save her. I'm gonna kill them. Every single one of them. And killed you? Yeah, you did.
We have a problem. He came for us.
First impulse. Anger. It's not anger. It's love.
Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain. You have no idea what hell awaits you. No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.